first lead of the game.
Raiders flexing their muscles. Frank Hawkins, one of the many offensive tools. Marcus Allen, the blocker, and I'm sure everyone expecting Marcus to carry the ball. He's the blocker here, and Hawkins, the man who earns the touchdown.
Well, the ex-Nevada Reno running back, he rushed for over 5,000 yards. As his first touchdown of the year, Barrs try for point, and he nails that after hitting the upright on his first. So 5:32 remaining in the third quarter, and the Super Bowl champions have finally scratched their way into the lead. It's 13-7 here in Houston. Dalby, the veteran center, one of only 2 in 25 years to play that position as a starter for the Raiders. The other man's in the Hall of Fame, Jim Otto, and Dalby replaced him. And Dalby, a consistent veteran of now 13 years. Barr skips it down and takes a Raider bounce. And Brown now has to go out of bounds with it at the 6-yard line. So Barr's excellent placement on the kickoffs, plus a tough defense, and that has resulted in Plunkett and the offense getting the ball in good position. The 2 Raider touchdown drives have been 28 yards and 47 yards, and the Oilers are pinched deep when we return. Campbell carrying on second down. Campbell on first down gained about 4 to the 10, and now is out about the 12-yard line and has a first down. So Earl Campbell, back-to-back rushes, gives Warren Moon and the Oiler offense a bit of breathing room. It'll be first down for the Oilers at their 12, trailing 13-7 with 4 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Kicking game plays such a big role. You start with your back against the goal line. You can't play with the same kind of aggressiveness as when you get good field position.
Campbell now with 80 yards rushing today. And he gets the ball again. Diving out to the 22-yard line. Pick up of 5 more. Earl Campbell won the Heisman in '77. That's Marcus Allen, a Heisman Award winner, playing for the Raiders.
Just looking back at that first year that he came to play for this Oiler team, I've never seen a player have as much impact on a season as Earl Campbell did in that year, and I was never so glad about my year of retirement. I didn't have to tackle him.
Second down and 5. Campbell again, running left, running right, and that'll be close to a first down. Another 5-yard gain. That'll get him to the 90-yard mark. 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter as we switch to New York. They're measuring for a possible Houston first down. It's short by that much. Third down for the Oilers.
Talking about Campbell and the kind of punishing runner he is, I'd ask Matt Millen earlier, I said, you've played against Earl a number of times. Do you have any special memories of playing against Campbell? He says, yeah, he says, last year's game. He said he didn't play in that one.
That's special. that makes it special.
That was really special.
Look at the arms on Millen.
You know, he's got a T-shirt on. I saw him in the locker room before the game. Got holes in it, and Monty, here's a championship team. I think by choice he wears that. It's one he probably got in high school.
Good luck T-shirt. Third and inches as Millen and the Raider defense digs in. Look at Hayes, the cornerback, up on the line of scrimmage. Campbell. Well, the old Earl Campbell, before the injuries and the wear and tear of 6 seasons in the NFL, might have broken that one loose for a touchdown. His old speed, he was in the open.
Brings memories of a conversation I had with Bum Phillips after Campbell had gone through that first bruising and battering season. I said, Coach, I think you got to teach Earl when to get out of bounds and when to go to the ground. He said, you know, Earl is delivering all those blows. I said, Bum, you're absolutely right, but he's delivering those blows with his body. And Earl Campbell certainly has delivered more pain than he's endured, but his body has taken a beating.
Moriarty gives him a breather, and Howie Long driving into Steinkuhler, number 70, and it's again Steinkuhler, the rookie right tackle.
Steinkuhler certainly has started his pro career with a bang, working against Gastineau and Too Tall, and now against probably the finest young defensive end in the league, Howie Long.
What a story. This young man is from a town in Nebraska, Burr, Nebraska, population 110. They didn't have enough players to play 11-man football. He played 11-man football in high school.
You saw that little bounce there, just enough to and that's a free shot for the defensive lineman. Howie knew it. Didn't really hurt Steinkuhler, just embarrassed him on that play.
In fact, he didn't even play in Burr. They had to go over to Sterling, Nebraska to play their 8-man football. Then out of Nebraska and won the Outland and the Lombardi. Moon. Fine reception by Jamie Williams, number 87, also an ex-Cornhusker.
Got a tag for that story about Steinkuhler. When he and his wife were here for the Lombardi Awards, had a chance to spend some time with him, and his wife was talking about the fact that he came from such a small town, had a hard time getting around at Nebraska, you know, in Lincoln. He said, that's a big city. And she said, I had to do most of the driving early on. I wonder how he's doing here in Houston.
That old line that when you went into Burr, Nebraska, you entered, and the sign also said you're leaving, all on one side. Second down, 8. 13-7. Raiders lead. 2:11 left. Third quarter. Moon. Whistle had blown the play dead. Moon was out of bounds when he threw the ball.
Good quarterbacks wait till the last possible second before they unload that football. And Moon driving to the side. That's Holston, who took a shot earlier and is probably still a little sore from that. But watch Warren Moon. He's going to get some pressure from Greg Townsend, number 93, who is a very fast lineman. Howie Long, both very quick. Right there, throwing the football, and the official said that that right foot was on the line. Let's see if he does kick up the chalk. I think it's a legitimate pass, at least from this angle. Foot was inside clearly, and there's Mike Holston. We'd indicated he'd been banged earlier. He took another shot on that play.
Holston, who caught the touchdown pass and was hit hard by Millen in the end zone, trying to recover. It's 13-7 Raiders. We're in Houston, but that game in Denver shows the Broncos now regaining the lead against the Bengals 20-17 with their starting quarterback Elway injured. Gary Kubiak to Clarence K, rookie tight end, 8 yards for the touchdown for Denver in the fourth quarter. Third down and 18 for Warren Moon out of the shotgun. Underneath the coverage, and Otis McKinney buries Steve Bryant far short of the first down at the 30. It'll be 4th and 10. McKinney, one of those outstanding specialists. He's that nickel back that comes in and does an outstanding job. He originally drafted in the second round by the New York Giants in '78.
The difficulty of playing these black-shirted Raiders is that when you sit down and look at their film and try and figure out what you're going to do, you look for weaknesses. You scratch your head, and then you say, now what are we going to do?
John James, a little better field position as he readies to punt. Threw it back at his own 30. Short kick. Bad kick. And the Raiders have good position again at their own 39-yard line. So Los Angeles 13, Houston 7 here in the Astrodome. Let's check on earlier today. Miami won at Washington 35-17. It was San Diego 42-13 winning at Minnesota. The 49ers final second field goal 30-27 at Detroit. 28-27 the Giants edge Philadelphia. 21-17 New England won at Buffalo. Here it's 13-7 as Plunkett looking for Allen, and he's down at the 46-yard line with a 6-yard gain. Other finals earlier today: Atlanta upsetting New Orleans 36-28 at the Superdome. Kansas City upsetting the Steelers at Three Rivers 37-27. And it was the Bears romping against Tampa Bay 34-14. You're up to date on all the scores. Well, there's another. Green Bay edging St. Louis at home 24-23. Jets lead Indianapolis 16-14 in the fourth. Denver leads Cincinnati 20-17 in the fourth. And here, final minute of the third quarter, Plunkett and the Raiders in front. Christensen unable to make the one-handed catch. Coverage by Bo Eason, 21, the rookie safety man. That'll bring up third down and 4.
Dick, we saw those passes, the deep passes early on from Plunkett falling incomplete. But effectively, they have forced the Raiders to respect the depth of those receivers. And they're finding room underneath now in the second half. And although Plunkett's percentage on completions is not great for the day, it's improving now. And certainly the critical thing is the score on the board and the fact that the Raiders now seem to be controlling the football game.
3rd and 4 for Plunkett at his 46. Checkoff pass by Plunkett, and Riley timed it perfectly to crush Kenny King.
And if you're Kenny King, you might write a note to your quarterback. Please do not throw me that pass again.
Oh, my. Final seconds tick away, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at the Astrodome, where the score, the Los Angeles Raiders 13, the Houston Oilers 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. With Merlin Olsen, Dick Enberg, welcome to the start of the 4th quarter here at the Astrodome in Houston. You see Jim Romano, number 52. He'll be over the ball on the snap. Todd Christensen is the snapper last year, and then Dalby today, and now Romano, so they're down to the 3rd man.
Well, actually, Romano is the guy that will do the long snap, Dalby the short snap, but Dalby's been injured, and they don't want to get Christensen hurt, so he's going to be the man of the hour, playing a lot in this half.
Raymond Guy to punt. Carl Roach is back at the Houston 12. Wobbly boot. Fair catch. Roaches at the 14-yard line. A 42-yard punt. Even when Guy doesn't hit it cleanly, he gets a very respectable kick, 42 yards.
See Guy coming to the sideline, shaking his head. His average for the day, exceptional, a 57-yarder. There's Romano. Dalby has an injury, a groin injury, and you saw him earlier. It kept him on the sideline during most of the preseason. Very little playing time. I'm sure that hurts his endurance, but he is in pain today. That means that we're going to see a change in that offensive lineup when the Raiders go back on the field.
Trailing 13-7. The Oilers start from their 15-yard line. Earl Campbell closing in on another 100-yard rushing day. The lone setback. It's a reverse, but it doesn't work because in the backfield is Sean Jones, the number 2 draft pick of the Raiders this year. 6'7" and 280 pounds from northeastern of Boston.
Jones in there for Lyle Alzado and Piquel, and on the nose tackle for Reggie Kinlaw. I wonder if perhaps we aren't seeing the result of quite a bit of humidity here.
You'll see the reverse.
There's the reverse coming right there, and Earl Campbell simply did not have time to hand it off, as Sean Jones just streaked inside and stripped Campbell to the ground.
Derek Mullins, the wide receiver, was angling back to take the handoff, but Campbell was already on the ground. 2nd and 15. Incomplete. That was Mullins down the near sidelines. 3rd and 15. Suddenly, the Oilers are having great difficulty in even buying a first down. The Raiders have been living on excellent field position this entire second half.
Talked to Tom Flores about the fire in Moon's eyes right there. Moon was angry at himself, even though he was under pressure from number 75, Howie Long. He felt he should have completed that pass. At the end of that play, clapped himself on the helmet, and he said, I should have had that one.
Out of the shotgun, the Oilers are 3 for 11 on 3rd downs. Tipped. And Otis McKinney diving for a possible interception. Tim Smith, the intended receiver. And once again, the Oilers don't own the football long and will have to kick it away in difficult field position.
Just kind of sense that all of the emotional energy has run out through the engine, and there's not much left. But the one thing for sure, the Houston Oilers have played extremely well in this game against the world champions, and they can hold their heads up. One of the things that Hugh Campbell was extremely worried about, he said, the one thing I don't want to see, aside from injuries, is my team embarrassed out here today.
Well, they've not been embarrassed. James kick to Pruitt at the 45, and he gets 9 he has been a solid contributor. He has 66 yards in punt returns this afternoon, the longest being 34. 35-yard punt, 9-yard return, and the Raiders are at the Houston 35-yard line.
Yeah, when your offense can't move, your punter gets it up in the air. But the Raiders again start with great field position.
13:49 left.